a pretty cool cover. This is Meddling Kids by Carall. The first thing I thought when I saw this was, okay, so Scooby-Doo, right? And yeah, it is based on Scooby-Doo. In 1977, 4 teenagers and a dog, Andy, the tomboy, Nate, the nerd, Gary, the bookworm, Peter, the jock, and Tim, the Weimaraner, solved the mystery of Sleepy Lake, the trail of an amphibian monster terrorizing the quiet town of Blighton Hills, led the gang to spend a night in Depot Mansion and apprehend a familiar culprit, a bitter old man in a mask. Now in 1990, the 20-something former teen detectives are lost souls, plagued by night terrors and Peter's tragic death. The 3 survivors have been running from their demons when the man they apprehended all those years ago makes parole. Andy tracks him down to confirm what she's always known. They got the wrong guy. Now she'll need to get the gang back together and return to Blighton Hills to find out what really happened in 1977. And this time, she's sure they're not looking for another man in a mask. Definitely sounds pretty good. I loved Scooby-Doo so much as a child. I love the idea that it was an inspiration for a horror book. So I am very much looking forward to reading this. Right, we have another horror book. This is Baby Teeth by Zoya Stage. Meet Hannah. 7-year-old Hannah is a sweet but silent angel in the eyes of her adoring father, Alex. He's the only person who understands her, but her mother, Suzette, stands in her way, and she'll try any trick she can think of to get rid of her, ideally for good. Meet Suzette. Suzette loves her daughter, but after years of expulsions and strained homeschooling, her precarious health and sanity are weakening day by day. She's also becoming increasingly frightened by Hannah's little games, while her husband, Alex, remains blind to the failing family dynamics. Soon, Suzette starts to fear that maybe their supposedly innocent baby girl may have a truly sinister agenda. I have not read anything like this before, and I'm really looking forward to it. Up at the top here, it really be considered a horror book, but I'm gonna categorize it as thriller. Again, the cover of this book, it's beautiful. The yellow and the pink, they look so good together. January 15th, 1978 is a night of promise. A serial killer's escape in Aspen, Colorado couldn't be further from the minds of the busy young women at the top sorority on Florida State University's campus in Tallahassee. Sorority president Pamela Shoemaker spends her Saturday night glued to her desk, cradling her textbook like a pillow. Startled awake at 3 a.m. by a strange sound, she makes the fateful decision to investigate. What she finds outside her bedroom door is a scene of implausible violence. 2 of her sisters dead, 2 others maimed. It is the final murderous spree of the man the papers will soon dub the All-American Killer. But Pamela doesn't know this yet, nor does she know the story of the 25-year-old Ruth Wachowski, who, 4 years earlier, disappeared from Seattle's Lake Sammamish State Park in broad daylight, confounding police and shattering Ruth's roommate and best friend, Tina Cannon. When the massacre at the Tallahassee sorority house becomes national news, Tina is certain it is the work of the same man who terrorized the Seattle area 4 years prior. She rushes to Florida on a collision course with Pamela and one last impending tragedy. This is a fiction story based on the real-life Ted Bundy murders. That is probably one of the most well-known and notorious true crime stories of all time. It is definitely the one that I know most about. So I am really interested in reading this book because I don't think I've ever read like a fictionalized story based on real events before. I don't know, maybe I have, but really looking forward to reading this. This is The Writing Retreat by Julia Bart. Alex has all but given up on her dreams of becoming a published author when she receives a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Attend an exclusive month-long writing retreat at the estate of feminist horror writer Rosa Vallow. Even the knowledge that Ren, her former best friend and current rival, is attending doesn't dampen her excitement. But when the attendees arrive, Rosa drops a bombshell. They must all complete an entire novel from scratch during the next month, and the author of the best one will receive a life-changing 7-figure publishing deal. Determined to win this seemingly impossible contest, Alex buckles down and tries to ignore the strange happenings at the estate, including Rosa's erratic behavior, Ren's cruel mind games, and the alleged haunting of the mansion itself. But when one of the writers vanishes during a snowstorm, Alex realizes that something very sinister is afoot. With the clock running out, she must discover the truth or suffer the same fate. stunning cover. Isn't this beautiful? Shiori Anma, the only princess of Kyoto, has a secret. Forbidden magic runs through her veins. Normally, she conceals it well, but on the morning of her betrothal ceremony, Shiori loses control. At first, her mistake seems like a stroke of luck, forestalling the wedding she never wanted. But it also catches the attention of Raigama, her stepmother, a sorceress in her own right. Raigama banishes the young princess, turning her brothers into cranes. She warns Shiori that she must speak of it to no one, for with every word that escapes her lips, one of her brothers will die. Penniless, voiceless, and alone, Shiori searches for her brothers and uncovers a dark conspiracy to seize the throne. Only Shiori can set the kingdom to rights, but to do so she must place her trust in a paper bird, a mercurial dragon, and the very boy she fought so hard not to marry. And she must embrace the magic she's been taught all her life to forswear, no matter the cost. So I originally wanted to read Her Radiant Curse because I saw a TikTok talking about it and I thought it sounded amazing. But then I realized that that is part of a series and this is the first book in that series. So, I had to get this one first, obviously. I don't know if they're standalone stories or not, but I wanted to start from the beginning regardless. So I am very much looking forward to reading this. My next book is called Bittersweet in the Holo. Again, beautiful artwork. Like, this is something I would hang in my house. I am obsessed with the cover of this book. The forest doesn't forget. It waits. In rural Carall Hollow, surrounded by the vast national forest, the James women serve up more than fried green tomatoes at the Harvest Moon Diner, where the family recipes are not the only secrets. Like her sisters, Lyndon was born with an unusual ability. She can taste what others are feeling. But this so-called gift soured her relationship with the annoyingly attractive Cole Spencer one fateful night a year ago. The same night, Lyndon vanished into the depths of the forest and returned with no memory of what happened, only a litany of questions and haunting nightmares that suggest there is more to her story than simply getting lost. Now another girl in town is gone, and the similarities to last year are striking. Except this missing girl doesn't make it home, and when her body is discovered, the scene unmistakably spells murder. see what the hype was about. You just honestly could not escape talk of this book, so I decided to give it a go. I have read the first one, and I'm currently reading Iron Flame. I will talk more about it in my February reads video. I feel like I don't even need to read the synopsis of this book because, like, everybody knows what it's about, but I will. I think it's really cool that they have the map of the world in the front. I like it. 20-year-old Violet Sorrengail was supposed to enter the scribe quadrant, living a quiet life among books and history. Now the commanding general, also known as her toughest Talon's mother, has ordered Violet to join the hundreds of candidates striving to become the elite of Navarre, dragon riders. When you're smaller than everyone else, then your body is brittle. Death is only a heartbeat away, because dragons don't bond to fragile humans. They incinerate them. With fewer dragons willing to bond than cadets, most would kill Violet to better their own chances of success. The rest would kill her for just being her mother's daughter, like Satan Ryerson, the most powerful and ruthless wing leader in the Riders Quadrant. She'll need every edge her wits can give her, just to see the next sunrise. Yet with every day that passes, the war outside grows more deadly. The kingdom's protective wards are falling, and the death toll continues to rise. Even worse, Violet begins to suspect leadership is hiding a terrible secret. Friends, enemies, lovers, everyone at Beskaya, the War College, has an agenda, because once you enter, there are only two ways out: graduate or die. Oh my god, why is it so creaky? My last book, of course, is Iron Flame. If you have read